Merry Christmas, everyone, and Merry Christmas from Tesla. This is coming from their official account. If you keep talking about your Tesla during Christmas, we won't blame you. And one of the Tesla stock promoters also says, Teslanomics, best believe it'll be the number one topic this Christmas. With a Tesla napkin at the dinner table. And yes, I guess we're talking about it too. Cybertruck, the count says, stand in the middle of enter a boss fight. Basically, Tesla has this video out that just came out. Basically, it's like a Christmas party with your Tesla and lights. Teslanomics also says, my kind of rave party this Christmas. And then Sawyer Merritt, one of the King stock promoters, he says, Tesla has released a new epic Cybertruck light show video. This light show is included in the holiday update. So I wanted to give you guys an update of what's going on this Christmas with Tesla and billionaire Elon Musk and sort of talk you through these things because I think we're all dealing with this craziness that we live in the world. I want to make this really clear, guys. Elon Musk is a rich dude. He's getting a $500 billion, I guess, in net worth. And I actually have no problem with people gaining money. So I want to make that really clear. I want you to take care of yourself, take care of your family. But what I do have a problem with, and I try to bring it up on the channel, is how are you gaining wealth and is it ethical or not? I do think that stuff matters. That's just my opinion on these things. So for example, what if I told you you can be super, super rich, but just don't pay your employees? Is that the kind of company that you want to run? So here's an example where Ford and GM pay their employees more than Tesla, right? So it's $20 more. Or another way to say it is Tesla pays their employees $20 less, talking about the auto workers. Or what about this? Let's say you can make a bunch of money, but you would skirt safety laws. So, for example, Tesla workers report explosions, concussions, and grisly robot injuries at the Texas factory. So, I'll let you guys be the decide on that. Do you want to run a factory where people get hurt, but hey, you make more money? Or do you want to participate in stock manipulation, get in trouble with the government, and you got so much money you could just like keep ignoring them, buy off the next politician coming in? So that'd be Trump in January 20th, and essentially maybe these SEC problems will go away, and you can say goodbye to Mr. Gensler. So that's sort of what Elon Musk and company are up to. It's interesting as well. Is this something that the stock promoters will never talk about? I guess recently Hertz is renting out Teslas, right? They have a bunch of these Model 3s. After you rent one, someone reported that you get an email from Hertz asking if you want to buy the car. So I think they're trying to dump these things. And, it's funny because in this environment, and I want to show you guys some things in a moment here, it seems like there's so many people out there that are just in awe of billionaires and like think, okay, they must have life figured out and I need to copy everything that they do. I need to underpay my workers. I need to make sure my workers get injured because I don't care about safety. I need to skirt laws as much as I can and I can be rich. That's the goal in my life. Some people must think that way. It's odd to me. But I just wanted to, share these things with you because when I was a kid, true story, there was a show called Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. This was back in the 80s. Robin Leach was the host. If you're old enough to remember the show, you can write in the comments. But I think the tagline was like champagne and caviar dreams. And they would just go through rich people's houses and show you how awesome it was. We actually had an article, and this is why it triggered my mind in that show. This was just recently, yesterday, showing it was like all these wealthy individuals, where they live, how awesome it is, etc. And guys, when I was a kid, because I want to make this clear, when I was young, I used to sort of, which I were to say, have dollar signs in my eyes and think that these guys, and I always want to be like them. How can I learn like them? I even watched a TV show called Richie Rich. That's the comic book, and this is the TV show, and it's like this overly fascination with wealth. I understand when you're young, and if you're in that kind of culture, you idolize these kind of people. But I just want to say it's not necessarily what it's cooked up to be, especially if you are cheating and hurting other people. That's my opinion on this stuff. I want to read some comments from people in the community that understand what I'm talking about. And if you're watching this, you probably understand too. This is from Greenbaum. They say, bro-liarchy is the new term now where all the big corporate bros share the same bed together to control the world, making it harder for mom and pops to compete. The bro-liarchy. I like that's funny. Here's another one. This is from Neil in response to the last video. This is so true that corporate business donors and the rich own our politicians in America and Britain. So this is global. I'm 60. I've never seen so much manipulation of politicians by richest of society. This is truly terrifying. Billionaires own our countries and control our politicians. Here's another one. This is from Free Tech Nexus. They say the U.S. depended on a form of socialized capitalism But ever since Citizens United, it's rapidly becoming a socialized, subsidized, corporate, executive, centrist, capitalist, corporate welfare society. Basically, if you don't know, our laws changed in the USA to where essentially you can give unlimited donations to whatever through the political action committees, and that's what we saw with Elon Musk in this last election cycle. You do have Elon Musk fanboys all over the world and fangirls. Like here's an example. This is the dude. This person says, "Don't bet against Elon, heart shape." And what's so funny is whenever you see these things, their comments are always really simple. There's a lot of misspellings, etc. And basically, I don't think they comprehend the stuff that I'm talking about or we are talking about. But it is what it is. It depends if you want to learn or not. So, for example, I love learning and I like sharing ideas. This is coming from Patrick, an economist in the community. I want to share some thoughts that he has. Patrick says, economists here. In college, they taught us that the terms free market and perfect competition are essentially the same thing, when in reality, they are basically opposites. A totally free market leads to agglomeration, where huge conglomerates buy up all competitors and competition basically ceases to exist. Without serious government intervention through anti-competition, antitrust laws, etc., the market has no chance. It's counterintuitive to the point where people like Trump and Musk can promote themselves as free market when in reality they are anti-competition. As the saying goes, there's a big difference between being pro-business and pro-market. And I completely understand exactly what you're saying, Patrick, and I do appreciate your input, and that's why I'm sharing with you and with everyone. And guys, if you want to hear my experiences about sort of how I got more inside look at this kind of stuff, check out my book. It's called Positive Angle, and I basically write about sort of the world of essentially billionaires, wealthy elites, etc., and why I just didn't want to be necessarily in that kind of world, because I'm not about cheating everyone all of the time. I even worked in China, and I even talked about sort of my experience with Chinese workers, and just to have a read if you have a chance. And it's different than say the Musks of the world who want to play that game, because you can build wealth in this way if you are okay with corruption. It just depends on what you want to do. So for example, in the Musk situation, he's like, you know what? I'm going to buy President Trump, and I'm going to make it so that I do not have to report my crash data to the public. And for me, from a consumer point of view, it's like, yeah, if your cars are crashing, I kind of want to know about it. I don't want that stuff to be secret. But if your crashes are crap, or your cars are crap, who crash all the time, say in the example Tesla, you want to hide that data from the public. And so again, I want to make it really clear. I have no problem with people building wealth, right? No problem. And in fact, I want you to do it. This is just how our modern system works. You do want to buy stocks in the market. The safest way is be it index fund or balanced index funds. A couple different ways. Also, buy yourself some real estate, right? Pay off your debts. Now, I know real estate's not for everyone, but I'm just giving you some examples because I don't want to ever make it seem like there's only one way to build wealth. There's lots of different ways. But again, I just like to talk about doing it in ethical ways, which I don't think is crazy. Warren Buffett talks about this stuff as well. So he donates his money, right? Bill Gates actually donates away his money. Musk, not so much. If you know anything about Musk, he has like a fake donation, or fake charity. You can look it up. It's called the Musk Foundation. It's a fake website. You'll see it. There's nothing on the website. I can even throw up a screenshot if you like to see it. But it's funny. The reason why this topic comes up and sort of why I'm presenting it this way today. I hopped over to Farzad's Twitter, and if you don't know, he's one of the king Tesla stock promoters. And the stuff these people write is absolutely crazy. I'm just like, are these people for real? So he's got his buddy Dave Lee over there, and Dave's thing here is, here's some notes on the anti-billionaire ideology and why it might do more harm than good. And then they go through the whole thread of why billionaires are awesome and stuff. And it's kind of bizarre, these people. Basically, they're worshiping billionaires. It's really bizarre. If you want to read the stuff, you can, but I'll just say it's bizarre stuff. Farzad then celebrating, how industries are going to be disruptive, because basically they try to always make the case that Tesla is the most awesome company in the world, and they always skirt over all of the corruption, which I think it's worth mentioning. I don't think I'd say anything crazy. Or you have and like examples of corruptions is like, this Tesla stock promoter, so he literally is just like a walking advertisement for Tesla every day. And then Farzad tweets it out. It's like, oh my God, guys, you got to sign up for Full Self-Driving Data, only, $99 a month. And, click the link below, that kind of stuff. It's just like advertisement after advertisement after advertisement. And the thing about these stock promoters is, since Elon Musk has gone way more right leaning, they've gone along right there with him. Yeah, let's celebrate corruption together. These guys, Hans Nelson, Limiting Factor, they're saying, and I'll just read it. It's just kind of hilarious. He'd say, "I'd argue that taxes are even worse than setting your money on fire." So they've been railing, on their platform about how it sucks that guys. I get it. I get it. No one likes paying taxes, but I don't want to necessarily live in a world where like, hey, let's just have taxes zero, no government, lawless land, and let Elon Musk of the world control everything. But that's the kind of world that these people are celebrating. It's absolutely weird. It's so bizarre. You got this as well. Elon Musk was commenting on his own Tesla stock evaluation or valuation, I should say. He says here, with a lot of work and good ideas, I think it could exceed the value of all transport companies, excluding SpaceX. So Musk is trying to say, guys, we're going to be the biggest company in the world. I guess bigger than all transport companies. So that's the goal, and essentially this is all stock manipulation and hype, right? You're basically pump and dumping, and that's a big part of our markets. I want to bring this up too, and I know this stuff gets complicated because I bring in lots of different ideas, but I want you to understand just how our world is constructed. You got people who call this stuff out, right? And then the people on the other side, essentially the billionaire bootlickers, they just worship these guys. Oh, guys, billionaires are awesome. It's so great that they're awesome, control everything. It's so great that they underplay employees. It's so great that they hurt people. It's so great that they buy off the government. What are you guys talking about? It's so great that they, eliminate competition, right? So, what the heck? And then essentially also too, and on their side, and if you want to go through every individual point, you can, but I'll just give you the basic gist of it. There's this thing called Turning Point, and what it was, Trump was there, all the big Republican politicians were there, and the big right-leaning Republican, and some of these were Russian funded. That's a true story. It was reported by the FBI. That's the FBI. That's the other issue. But a lot of these, right-wing influencers were all there, and basically what they do is they and I watched a little bit of this stuff. I'll just tell you what it is. The basic theme of it is all of your problems are due to the dark people, right? So hate the dark people. Trans people are ruining your life as well, and you're like, oh my god, trans people, oh no! And I laugh because it's like it's so ludicrous. Like this is a very small portion of the population, and this idea that that's like your biggest problem in the world. When and I'll try to phrase this in the most simple way possible. At your job, would you like to get paid more? Yes or no? I just make it as simple as possible, right? And so let's say I'm assuming you want to get paid more money at your job. I don't think it's a crazy thing to say. But what if it turns out like there's only like a couple companies, to work in the whole world? What if it turns out the company that say in your town made some sort of deal with the local politician to where they have a monopoly on jobs, so you got no choice. And then because you have no choice, you got to accept whatever pay that they give you. Just one example, right? So the question is, why are we celebrating the bosses? Like I'm just talking about in just terms of like regular people. I think you want to get paid more, or in terms of regular people, maybe you want your healthcare costs to be affordable. These kind of things. I'm not going to sit around and like blame trans peoples for all the problem. Like that's what they do at these conventions. It's crazy. I watch this stuff and I'm just like, do these people believe the words that they say? And then they talk about if we're all Christian, we're all going to be awesome. And then on top of that, this is the breaking headline was today. Matt Gaetz, that's the one of Trump's picks. Because remember, from the Trump and all those right-leaning people, they say, oh, we want a meritocracy system where we hire the best people. And for them, what that means is we got to find the most corrupt people, the people who will take the most bribes, the people who have a certain shade of color of skin. You guys know what I'm talking about. And then, we got to find the people who have the most sexual scandals possible. The Matt Gaetz report just came out today, but basically, I can't even say these words on YouTube. You can read it, but let's just say he's paying for services from ladies of the night. We'll put it that way. And some of these people are underage, and he's also doing lots of substances. But that's the kind of world that these people inhabit. And if you call them out, they'll say, "Oh, you're just attacking me because I'm Christian," or you're just supporting all the trans. It's like that's how asinine this stuff is. And so like I try to put it in just honest terms with you guys. And again, I'll just put it in terms of, I think we can all understand this. Do you want to live in a world where you get paid fairly or not? I'll put it that way. Here's another example. It was interesting. This was how wages go up among different car companies. And I guess you got Fiat, Ford, General Motors. And one of the things that the MAGA people, right, the Make America Great people, the people who love Trump, and I guess now they're leaning towards Muskie now, is these people want their factory jobs to come back, and they want to get paid more, right? which I completely understand. I completely understand. That's what I'm saying. I completely understand that you want to get paid more. I'm right there with you actually. But like, why are you voting for people who don't want to pay you more? I guess that's what I'm saying. So that's why I have to show you this stuff. And then these people like come out and say, "Oh, I hate unions. I just hate them. I hate them so much." And, that kind of stuff. And I'm not here to tell you that unions are perfect. I'm not here to tell you that. But I'm here to say this, guys, let's be honest about these conversations. And I'm fine having any of these conversations. For example, does anyone ever show you a chart like this? So these are wages around the world. I guess Germany gets paid fairly well. And this is in terms of like car industry and labor costs. For those in Germany, I'd just like to hear, is that a good job in Germany or Sweden, France, etc.? There's the USA. And on the list has other countries, but China and Mexico are not included on this list. I just want to make that clear because I'm pretty sure it's lower than maybe Portugal. I don't know for sure. Maybe it's the same. Maybe Poland. Maybe Portugal, Hungary, and Poland wages the same as China, Mexico, and India. But I think probably India, China, and I throw Vietnam in there. I think they're probably even lower than those in poorer countries in Europe. And you guys can let me know in Europe. So for example, Elon Musk, because remember, you guys are all worshiping Musk. You think he's such an awesome billionaire, etc. He wants to build a plant in Mexico. So basically, he's like, okay, if I can pay workers cheaper, right, and just move the jobs to Mexico, I'm just totally gonna do that. And if the safety laws aren't so great in Mexico and I can injure workers all day, every day, I'm just gonna do that. Like, why screw with American workers, right? And it's not just Musk. A lot of companies do this. So I want to make this really clear. A lot of companies ship jobs out of the country, and it's a complicated topic. I'll just put this: it is a complicated topic, right? But I don't want to sugarcoating this kind of stuff. And also I just find it so bizarre the people who complain the most about their factory jobs leaving the country go with the party that sends your jobs out of the country. But I want to also make it clear it's not just a single party issue. It's just a American business issue, right? And so the conversation's too much, and this is be at the Turning Point festival thing where all the right-leaning people go. And if you want to watch leaning media, you can do that as well. It exists where they just talk about left, right, left, right, left, right. Honestly, the real discussion should be top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. And essentially what I'm just aiming for, guys, is no corruption and stuff like that. And it matters to the stock market too. Like, if it turns out that, Tesla's books are all cooked and it's just like Enron, right? You would want to know about that kind of stuff. It is not necessarily a great thing if they can just buy off, the SEC or buy off whatever president to make all that stuff go away. And to put this more in perspective too, and I always bring up the ethics stuff because I think it's worth mentioning. For younger kids out there in today's world, I just think that they just want to be the billionaire at any cost, right? And the other thing, though, it is a lie that you can be just like Elon Musk. I'll repeat, it is a lie that you can be just like Elon Musk. Elon Musk was born rich, so was Donald Trump. Okay. There's also a little bit of a luck involved with these people as well. And also too, it depends like how you want to handle your business practices, right? Do you want to steal from your business partners? Do you want to lie to workers? Like, do you want to promise people, hey, come work for me and I'll pay you, X amount of dollars. And then at the end of the contract, you're like, oh, you just didn't do a good job. I'm not going to pay you anything. That's how kind of these people operate, right? And it depends if you want to operate in that way. And then if they try to sue you, you got a bunch of lawyers to just hold up people in court, and then you just hold it in court until the other side, the workers, essentially don't have much money, can't sue anymore because they ran out of lawyers' fees, and that's how our system works. So if that's the kind of world that you want to live in, so be it. But I, just pointing this stuff out to you guys of how our world works. Here's another example, which we don't talk about enough. I'm just bringing it up because sometimes, again, people all worship this Musk guy. I'll read the headline and let me know what you think about this one. Tesla opens New Mexico showroom on tribal land, avoiding direct sale ban. Here's another one. Elon Musk is bringing Tesla showrooms to Native American tribal land to get around local dealership laws. So again, I pose this question to you. Do you worship this guy? Is that the kind of business practices that you want to carry? It's like, okay, and that's an interesting conversation as well. Like, should we get rid of the dealership model? Should we just eliminate all those type of jobs? Are those jobs good, not good? How do we want to treat repair shops, local mom and pop repair shops in terms of car factories? Do you want the big companies to basically own all the parts making? Do we want third-party parts to be, in there or not? I'll give you an example. And like I said, these are all these complicated issues at the same time. And I know it's complicated, but that's our real world. There has been a discussion that we may go to someday. I'll just say someday. Who knows if it ever happened? For the Musks of the world, they won't want it to happen. But the idea would be, what if all cars had universal parts. Think about that. Just think about that. What if all phones had universal parts? Like one battery would be the same battery for all cars. Think about how that would actually help the consumer. But to be fair, it would certainly hurt the auto companies because like they want their, parts only made from their factories. They want it in their supply chain. You have to buy directly OEM from them. No third party stuff at all. And actually, guys, that is a complicated issue because I completely understand. You don't necessarily want, let's say Chinese knockoffs coming in from Temu, et cetera, to sell your replacement parts that undercut them and at lesser quality, right? So there is a balance. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to make that any of these issues like cut and dry because it is complicated. But I don't necessarily think that this is a positive thing when you're skirting laws. In this example, the dealership laws that may be put in place for various reasons, and every single state has different reasons of and different variations of that particular law. But I am just pointing out that not every single business out there in the world says, hey, I want to do tax shelters here and tax shelters there and skirt as many laws as I possibly can. Again, I'll pose this question to you is I'm fine with you building wealth, but do you think that this is ethical, and do you want to do it any means that possible? Or for example, these are the kind of reports we get coming out. Elon Musk meets with UK far-right leader Nigel Farage, right? Is that what you want? Is that what the world that you want, where Elon Musk can go? And I guess now we're meddling in UK, we're meddling in Germany. I hope he meddles here in Korea. I don't think he has to my knowledge, but hey, the decade is still young, right? And then the situation like in China, which is really awful. Let's be honest, I used to live there. You'll have like rich people just hit people with their car, like just like literally just hit with their car, and the police, they may come in, lock him up, and then the rich family calls, oh, that's my son, and he was just having a good time, just let him go. Oh, okay. And then they let go, and then the local people are like, what the heck? You just hit my son, hit, right? And so basically there's two different laws for the rich and the poor, and I understand. I guess for some people that's the world that they want to live in, but for me, I call it out, and I have to put it in these terms because I think for the vast majority of people out there who are essentially billionaire bootlickers have never actually met these people or know what it's like, and that's why you mention the Matt Gaetz person. For me, I've met these kind of people that will just say pay ladies a night, do all sorts of crazy parties, cheating on their wives, whatever. It's just not the world that I want to be in, and I don't encourage it for anyone. So that's my thoughts on this stuff. Please be careful out there. I want to hear your thoughts, and I'll catch you next video.